Hey, what's going on?
What's up? You ready to do a Monday afternoon impromptu live chat about some NFL news today?
Oh, yeah, definitely. My phone started lighting up today and I was like, oh, I got to get a hold of dad right now. I don't know what's going on today, but today is the day they wanted to. It's been too quiet in the NFL the last couple weeks. So I feel like, this was coming. It's getting real close to the draft. We got like 2 weeks. And, there was there were not a lot, but there was, a couple big names still on the board and different things happening. And so I was waiting for this, and I'm excited. And it's weird being here on a Monday, but I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, the whole thing with hearing that Julian Edelman was released, and then you dropped the news about Thaddeus Moss being claimed by the Bengals. I was like, hey, that's a pretty good idea. We'll start with that. And then no sooner than we put the stream up, Julian Edelman announces his retirement.
Oh
What are your
yeah,
thoughts about that?
that was insane. I called you because I was like so baffled that they released him, and I just got another update that he got his contract terminated by having a failed physical today, and so he failed his physical, and so they let him go. And I don't really I feel like he's one of those diehards. Like, he wanted to stay there as long as his career stayed there. As long as he was playing football, that's where he wanted to be. He was like the one player other than Gronk I assumed that would go with him. Tom Brady when he left, but he stayed, and so I just think he was really loyal to his fan base and to the city. And so I'm kind of thrown off. Like, I'm really shaken up about this, him retiring, but like at the same time, if they're not going to keep him, I don't see him playing anywhere else.
Yeah, that my first thought was, oh my gosh, they dropped him. Why, for who, and for what, and wonder where he's going to go. And so my brain, that's the direction my brain was going when you brought this up. And then no sooner than I started wrapping my brain around a few ideas of where he might end up, he announces his retirement. I think he shows deep loyalty to New England and Bill Belichick, and I think that was probably a smart move. He could probably, if he failed his physical, then his body's starting to break down.
I mean, he was getting up there in age, but I still think he had some good years left in him. I think that was just his personal choice to just retire. Like I said, I think he's just, loyal to the team. It's really sad. It's kind of like I've always disliked the Patriots. I don't know that, I respect him. I always made jokes. I thought he looked like a soccer goalie. Like, he looks more like a soccer player than a football player, but I'm happy for him. I think he's made enough money in his life to be able to enjoy retirement. And, if this is the direction he chose to go, I'm happy for him. It's just so weird. Like, I don't know. It's like got my head all tied up. It's just weird.
Well, I mean, Shelby makes a point. Does his numbers over his career constitute a trip to the Hall of Fame?
I mean, he was an MVP one year.
So I'm looking at his career numbers, and tell me how these sound to you for a wide receiver aspiring to be to the Hall of Fame. 620 receptions, 6,822 receiving yards with 36 touchdowns.
How many rings does he have?
Oh, that's he's got at least 5, right?
I was going to say at least 5. I don't think he's played anywhere else.
Yeah, I'm not looking at anything like that, but yeah, it's like, but he's had a few 1,000-yard seasons. He's had a few 100 reception seasons. Every season's been consistent. I'm going to say that he's probably borderline. I don't think he gets in as a wide receiver yet. I mean, I don't know.
think he'll get put on a ballot when his time's there.
True.
I mean, he's gotten the respect he's deserved, and that's something that also comes with playing with Tom Brady. Is Tom Brady like made some of these guys' careers so much better, and he's one of those who was affected by that. And I mean, you can look at his stats, his touchdowns. He was a great leader in the locker room. He's pretty much everything you could want in a player. Plus, he was a quarterback in college, so he's made some good passes as a quarterback standpoint in games over his career as well.
Yeah, I mean, 128 passing yards with a touchdown. I mean, that's nothing to shake a stick at as a passer. You know what? I was going to say, go back to the career stats, but it doesn't give me the option to see his postseason stats, but that's okay. Yeah, I still think that it's probably the best that he does retire. If his body's starting to break down, at least he's not risking further injury. He'll probably end up doing something else, maybe some announcing or whatnot. Like I said, I'm not sure that his numbers, drip for the Hall of Fame, but he's got, he's a lifetime 11 yards per catch receiver. Over 10-yard average. That's
great. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And, a lot of receptions and a lot of yards, never super a solely special guy, but he's definitely a team player that did his job while he was in New England. And that's probably the reason why he stayed there so long.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, they just released Bill Belichick's statement on Julian Edelman retiring.
Do you got it?
Yeah, I got it right here. He said, by any measures of what constitutes an elite NFL career, wins, championships, production, Julian has it all, said Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. Few players can match Julian's achievements, period. But considering his professional trajectory and longevity, the group is even more select. It is historic. This is a tribute to his legendary competitiveness, mental and physical toughness, and will to excel. Day in and day out, Julian will always be the same, all out. Then, in biggest games and moments with championships at stake, he reached even greater heights and delivered some of his best, most thrilling performances. For all Julian did for our team, what I may appreciate the most is he was the quintessential throwback player. He could and did do everything: catch, run, throw, block, return, cover, and tackle, all with an edge and attitude that would not allow him to fail under any circumstance. Julian Edelman is the ultimate competitor, and it was a privilege to coach him.
That's pretty solid words coming out of Belichick's mouth.
That's a lot of respect right there.
Yeah, and he's definitely, in a way, I don't know that. Do you think that's a shot kind of in the dark at Brady a little bit about loyalty there?
I think so. I mean, I applaud Tom Brady for what he did for New England. He took his pay cut so he could surround himself by talent, and I'm not going to disrespect him for leaving. I mean, he played 20 years for there. He just wants to go somewhere fun for a couple years and retire. Same with Gronk. Gronk's not quite as old as Brady, but it's the same situation. He wanted to go. He's just a partier. But Julian Edelman, Bill Belichick said it right. He's great. I think he deserves at least a ballot. Maybe not get into the Hall of Fame, but I think he deserves.
Are you coming back? Oh, there you are. That was a long. Ooh, looks like you're hitting a hiccup there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, back to the point. I think that was a very heartfelt statement, and I think that that's the kind of guy that might come back as a coach. How would you like to have that guy as your wide receivers or special teams coach in the future?
Dude, I would love that. I think he would do really good. I feel like he's got a coachable personality. He would be able, people would listen to him. They would respect him for everything he's done. And he could probably coach most positions and be, good at it just because he's played most positions.
Yeah, because inevitably, a lot of what you have to have in the NFL is you've got to have heart, drive, and then last but not least, you got to have talent. If you've got the first two things, untalented guys can do well. Um, if you have the first two things and that desire in there, you can make it, and that's the kind of player he was. I don't think he was ever looked at as one of the most talented wide receivers in the league, but he was always one of the most consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I've always respected him. He's one of those go-to receivers on Madden for your ultimate team.
Right.
Maybe not your number one receiver, but he's one you always go for just to have. He's there when you need him to be.
And back to our locality here, being in the Cincinnati area and watching everything that goes down. We'll start with the good news of the day, which was Thaddeus Moss being claimed by the Bengals. Joe Burrow gets to be reunited with his college teammate. Where do you stand on that?
I'm super excited. Like this whole draft situation has been all about Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow. And, I get it. And I get exactly where all of Cincinnati fans are coming from, saying, give Joe Burrow what he wants, reunite him with his wide receiver. But, I'm a bigger fan of the tight end position than the wide receiver position by far. And I don't know if it's because I've always loved every tight end that plays for any team that I like or what. I don't know. I just love the tight end position. I have more respect for them because, they can do a little bit more and they're a little bit stronger than most wide receivers. For having Thaddeus Moss, I'm really excited. I think it might let up on the Jamar Chase talk a little bit just because. I mean, and not completely. It's not going to go away until that draft happens and they take Sewell or Chase or Panay, whoever they take. It's going to be talked about until that pick is in. But I'm super excited about this. I like Drew Sample. I mean, he's not the best, but he's fairly consistent, and he's kind of that third wide receiver slot, how they're there when you need them to, like your backup plan. He's consistent in that point. I like Uzoma, but he came off that nasty injury, and we don't know how he's going to perform this year. But the same goes with Thaddeus Moss. He did not play at all last year. I know that he was out injured, but I'm still baffled that the dude went undrafted. But I think, he's had a whole year to recover, and he's probably taken that time to get stronger. So I think it's a good pickup for Cincinnati. I'm super excited to have him, whether he starts or not. But I'm excited about that. And here we go. Some stats. He had 47 catches for almost 600 yards and four touchdowns for the year they won the title with Joe Burrow. I mean, for a tight end in college, when you've got big name receivers, I think those numbers are impressive.
Oh, for sure. And that
especially with a quarterback that ran as much as he did, and had a good running back and had good receivers. For a tight end to put up those numbers, I think there's a lot of talent there. I'm surprised Washington didn't give him a chance.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we don't know the whole situation, what their thought process was, but here we go. Is this setting the tone? I come with the draft coming up. Is this setting the tone for Jamar Chase? Is this saying that, hey, we're just going to give Joe what he wants? Or do you think that they shift gears back towards Panay?
With this specific signing, because I saw last week where they cut Thaddeus Moss, and I was like, man, I would love to have him in Cincinnati. But, the Jamar Chase thing has just been so overwhelming. And I really do feel like this is going to affect their decision in the draft. I know it's not going to affect what the fans are saying, but this is like giving Joe what he wants, but without giving him everything he wants, enough to keep him happy, but still be like, look, we got you this guy. You've played with this guy. You have a connection. That's what you and all your fans are saying about Chase. But we gave you what you wanted. It's not the guy you wanted, but it's something, along the lines of what you wanted. And now we can draft someone who's going to protect you so you don't get murdered, so you can actually get the ball to him.
So do you think that this free agent signing that cost them zero to do, by the way, it doesn't cost them, really any money against the cap. It's a bottom of the barrel, contract. Do you think that this eliminates Pitts from the argument for their first round pick?
I do. I mean, I think Pitts is still one of the best wide receiver or best tight ends that's going to be coming out of the draft for a really long time. But, you can draft the best tight end in the draft and have no connection with him and not work out. And I think that's always something you have to consider because you never know what's going to happen with rookies coming into the league. And especially, that Joe has had most of a year to get his footing with the Bengals team and, make connections with the guys he has. And he has this new guy who he's played with before. I really do. I think it takes, not Panay, I think it takes Pitts out of the question. It's going to be Panay or Chase now.
Oh. Well, and it's still up in the air whether or not Jamar Chase is going to be they got also the hold on a second.
Okay, I like Uzomah. Uzomah, it was Joe Burrow's first rookie touchdown or his first NFL touchdown. That was so exciting, and they were all so happy about that. I like that, and that injury was kind of heartbreaking because he was a good tight end for Cincinnati to have. So I'm hoping he comes back healthy. And Sample, he fit in right where Uzomah left off. He was not as big of, he was not as important as Uzomah was at the position, and he wasn't used quite as much. But like I said earlier, he was there when they needed him to jump it off or, make a quick just pass. He was right there in the face, just for a couple yards. And I think this eliminates Pitts completely because now they have three, and all three have talent, pending two of them come back fairly well from their injuries.
They actually have that would be 4 or 5 on the roster. Uzomah, Sample. Now they got Moss. They got Mason Schreck is still on their roster, and then there is another guy below him too, and I don't know who that is.
I have a feeling one of those two guys we have not talked about will be cut.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm surprised because I know Uzomah was trade talked last year quite a bit. Sample was a draft of this new coaching system, so I'm not sure if Sample stays and Uzomah goes, or if I don't know what they're going to do at that position. But it really seems like that we're sticking with the all new players at every position. It doesn't seem like any of the veterans are really hanging out very much.
And back to what I was saying a couple weeks ago, I think this is with the whole Zach Taylor thing and the veterans sticking around. And, he's building a new team, all fresh faces, all young players. These veterans don't want to play for Zach Taylor, most of them, or at least the ones that were already there when he got there. They don't want to play for him. And, I get it. But I think that's kind of what he's rolling with now. He's like, all right, these guys who've been here don't want to be here. We got to start putting in some new younger guys that are going to get along with these other new younger guys that we already have. And, I think, as much as I don't like Zach Taylor, I think what he's doing right now in this free agency and this offseason preparing for the draft, I do like every, choice they've made so far.
Yeah, I'm not a fan either yet. He hasn't proven to me that he was deserving of that position of, head coach. We both agree that he would have been a fantastic fit for the offensive coordinator position.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I would love him there. I wouldn't hate him if he was there instead of head coaching.
Yeah, I just think that he's got some time before he he may prove me wrong and he may survive. Mike Brown will definitely give him the time that he needs.
Oh, yeah.
Because he doesn't like to.
He doesn't like to spend money. Yeah, he doesn't like to turn it over and just keep putting in new guys. He's fine with giving the same guy a contract for a couple more years because the worse they do, the less he has to pay them anyway.
Absolutely. And then to one of the lesser notes of the week, Giovanni Bernard got released from the Bengals, which was kind of sad for a lot of us because he's a really good third down back and a small back. But Where does he end up? Tampa Bay.
I'm almost getting sick of talking about Tampa Bay on this channel. I wish Rob was here because I'd probably yell at him today. Just because I've been getting frustrated week after week with Tampa Bay. But good for Gio, honestly. I think especially as long as Brady's there, they're going to remain competitive. They've kept all their starters from last year, which gives them a good shot at another Super Bowl run this year. People that play for Cincinnati, especially some of the veterans, most of them aren't going to get a shot at a ring. I like Gio. I respect him. Like you said, he's a great third down back. He plays to the position kind of like Le'Veon Bell, goal line, third down, things like that. I respect his game, and I'm happy for him. If they can do well over there, he'll be with Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones. So they got a solid list of backs now and a solid O-line. Under Brady also, I think they're going to have another good year. I still don't think they'll be in the Super Bowl, but, things happen when Tom Brady's on your team. And so, and the teams like the Packers and, people like that who are in the NFC that would be their competition to fight for the Super Bowl spot often tend to choke when it matters. So I think there's like a good 65. I'm not going to go higher than 65% chance they're going to be back in the Super Bowl. I can't give them any higher than that just because there's a lot of new teams that are going to show their face this year. But I'm happy. All in all, I'm happy for Gio. He got out, which it was mutual. So no hard feelings in Cincinnati, no hard feelings on his end. They're happy for him. They're happy for what he did for them. Everybody's okay with the situation. And so I can't blame him for wanting to go to a team that he just watched had recent success.
Yeah, I mean, he was always a team player. I mean, that was, normally I'm always sad when one of the veterans leaves, and I know there's a reason behind it generally, but all in all, he was one of the good guys on the team that always, he wasn't one of the quote unquote loud mouths that complained. He always did his job and went about his business as a professional. And, congratulations to that deal. And I mean, that's going to be a good fit for him down there. He'll probably play a lot of third downs. He'll be a backup back. And I think that'll suit him well.
Yeah, I agree. I think, they might ease him in the first quarter of the season and just play a couple minutes each game, a couple snaps just to get, acquainted with the team and everything. But I think, if he continues to perform like we know he can, he's going to have a good role with that team. And it's just going to add to the success that they're already going to have. So, back to, I just keep thinking about the whole Julian Edelman thing. It kind of bumming me out today. What a good dude. He's kind of already I think he looks like he could be Ryan Fitzpatrick's twin brother. But he's kind of the same personality as Ryan Fitzpatrick. His retirement's coming in it could be at the end of this year. It could be maybe one more year after that. We don't know. But as a whole, it's gonna hurt your feelings a little when he ends up retiring too, just because they're both just such wholesome players who just love football and they love being with guys who love football. That's what they're about. And it's going to be if Joe Burrow has a good career and doesn't get killed and have to be forced into retirement like Andrew Luck, I think it's going to be the same way when he retires. It's going to hurt a little because how passionate he is for the game.
You just brought up a great topic in my brain, and I know you're going to have a definite opinion on this. But let's talk about the mirroring image of Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck got beat to death and destroyed his whole career, and the front office and management did not fix that offensive line until after he retired.
Right as he was leaving.
Is Joe Burrow headed for the same thing? Are they going to draft a weapon again first round and skip that offensive line?
if they draft a weapon in the first round, it's just solely because Joe Burrow told them to. Like, I feel like they were set on just drafting Panay and being done with it. And then Joe Burrow opened up and was like, hey, I played with this guy. He's really good. We should get him. And they're like, well, you're our franchise quarterback. So do we listen to him or do we protect him?
I know what my answer is.
My answer is going to be protect him always. Look at Carson Palmer. Look at Andy Dalton, who, they have hardly any brain cells left because they got beat to death.
But here's the thing. But protect him is the obvious answer for that to that question. But yet, if they draft Jamar Chase, does that mean that Joe Burrow is running the Cincinnati Bengals football team?
I really think so. Yeah, this just takes me back to Deshaun Watson and the Texans. If they would have made him happy and listened to what he had to say, he would have had no issues just staying there. If they would have at least considered what he had to say. They didn't even consider it. They just did everything he told him not to do, basically. And now he wants out. Disregard everything that's happening with him now. I don't want to talk about that on here. I don't want my opinion out there. I just want to keep it as disregard everything that's happening. If that had not happened, and they would have just listened to him, he would not have been throwing such a fit to leave.
Oh, I agree. I mean, you know what? Having a voice inside your own, your team meetings and being able to have an opinion going forward. But it seems more like Burrow is not having his opinion. He's dictating what he wants. And I don't think that if that is true and if that is actual and factual, because that's what it kind of looks like from the local media here and the way they spin things. I don't think that that's healthy for your football team. I think you draft what your needs are and you tell your quarterback, hey, it's my job to get you protection. I think you have enough weapons this year. I mean, granted, I don't know none of this. This is all speculation, but it does seem like we're going to go after an LSU reunion. Who's next? We might as well just go down the list of LSU players, anybody else that he likes, and draft them second, third, and fourth.
If that's how it's going to be, yeah. I get wanting, to have players that have a connection with Burrow who can work with him well. I see both ends of it. Because I said earlier in the last couple weeks that, there's a lot of offensive line talent in the draft that's just not being talked about. So I get that Panay is really athletic, and he posted that video the other day of him working out, and he looks like a monster, dude. He's scary, which makes everybody who needs an offensive line want him. And, that's why he's that's why he's going to go so high in the draft, because he will be worth it. I know he opted out, but he's posting his own updates all the time showing, I don't care that I took a week or a year off, I'm still ready to compete. I'm ready to be there. I'm ready to be mean and, protect my quarterback. And, so I think he's going to turn out just like everyone wants him to, as long as he's coachable. But I still, I stand by that. If they go with Chase, whether it's because Joe Burrow told them to or it's their own decision, because, Cincinnati tends to do that. They tend to draft weapons in the first round instead of other needs. So, either way, Joe Burrow, if it's the Cincinnati head office, if it's Zach Taylor, it doesn't matter. If they take Chase, I think they still have a chance, as long as they aren't stupid, to draft offensive line needs.
I agree. They still have two offensive tackles. One of them is a first round draft pick, and then they got Riley Rife. So, they do have the tackle position. They do need to shore up the guard. I still think that Sewell is the best bet for them this year. I think that gives them the best chance to win this year. I like the storyline of who's running the team, Burrow or Zach Taylor. I think that's kind of fun because I can't tell you which one's older than the next.
Yep. I mean, Burrow's what, my age, 24? He was like a senior, so I'd say about 23, 24, and he's 1 year into the league, going on 25. Zach Taylor's can't be older than he's younger
14?
than 30.
No, I mean, I think Zach Taylor's a little over 30. I think he's like, I don't know, 32, 33 years old.
I was thinking 30 even, so I don't know.
I don't know. I bet he's
something.
old. I bet he's actually older than what we think.
Probably, but he doesn't look like it.
I just like playing this storyline out because I think that it's just kind of interesting. 1983, so he's 38.
Hey,
He'll be 38 on his birthday on May 10th.
he'll be 38 on his birthday, no other day.
Well, his birthday is May 10th.
So on his birthday, he's going to get older.
Yeah, he's going to be 38. So he's a little bit older than I thought. I mean, he looks like he's 12, and he sometimes acts like he's 12.
Oh, yeah, his little temper tantrums. But, I mean, other young head coaches are the same way, like Sean McVay. I've seen him break a clipboard a couple times.
I love Sean McVay. Sean McVay has the enthusiasm and the attitude of a head coach. Zach Taylor just looks like he's going through the motions still. I hope
Zach Taylor looks like he would coach IU.
Oh.
He fits the description. No, not any of his coaching abilities. His physical appearance looks like he would be an IU coach. Look at Archie Miller. I feel like Archie Miller is probably his uncle.
Oh, well. I wonder where he's at right now.
He's probably enjoying not having a job right now.
Yeah, he got paid $10 million to go away. That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. I wish someone would pay me $10 million to just go away.
Oh.
Because I would listen. You'd never see me again. What's up, Nick?
Yeah.
Nick
jumps in here and has probably zero concept of what the conversation is about because he definitely doesn't have a sports background.
You know what? I like that Nick is here because Nick being here is the equivalent to me being on your live stream and being in the chat. I don't know anything about metal detecting. Rocks are cool, but you don't look for rocks. You find some cool stuff, and that's what intrigues me. All of your community, is awesome. But Nick being here is seriously the equivalent to me being there.
Yeah, right on. And then there's my buddy. Hey, what's up, Ian?
Speaking of the metal detectors, and they're all showing up now.
That's Ian's he's like the coolest guy in New York, I swear. Definitely.
Don't tell Sonia that.
Oh, I said coolest guy.
Hey,
does Ian have any football opinions? I mean, he's in upstate New York, or is he a Buffalo guy?
Are you a Buffalo guy, a Jets guy, or a Giants guy? There's basically only one right answer, but there is definitely one wrong answer. Super sweet.
Speaking about Ian, his channel is called Relics and Stack Stones, and he is very much a nature hound. He likes playing with his GoPro in the stream. There, he's got only one New York team, but he's a fantastic guy with a great imagination. If you go over to my other YouTube channel, he's done all my logos and banners and stuff, and they look fantastic. Very talented guy. If anybody needs help, that's the guy you want to hit up.
Who is it, Ian? Who's the only one real New York team? Who is it? I have to know.
Come on, you're on the spot, bro.
I was going to say, there's 3 answers, and only one of them is probably correct right now. There it is. There it is. That is the only correct answer, especially in the year of 2021.
Well, yeah, no doubt. I mean, it's the only. I mean, I think the Bills had more wins than both of the other two combined.
Oh, probably. Oh, yes. I love this football opinion so much. The Giants were relevant with Eli Manning, but now that they benched him for Daniel Jones and forced him into retirement, they are no longer until they start working and doing something right, they're not there. And the Jets are just a dumpster fire. They will be now. They will be tomorrow. They have been. They're never going to be there. I don't care what anyone says.
Honestly, they're getting the same. They're getting attacked in the same way pre-draft, as Joe Burrow was pre-draft last year, talking about,
because they got like 11 picks in the draft this year.
And they're talking about if what was the one that everybody said that they wanted, Zach
Wilson, yeah, BYU.
They're saying that Zach Wilson should just opt out and not play if the Jets draft him. And I think that's that's some selfish horse shit right there. People shouldn't say that.
I mean, Eli Manning did it. He got drafted to the Chargers, and he said, no. Are you going to say just because it was 20 years ago, it's not the same as now? Because I think it's the same.
I don't respect that at all.
Yeah. I mean, if I know I have talent, I'm not the egotistical type of person that would be like, I'm the best. That's why I'm going number 1, number 2, number 3. I'm not going to be like, I can fix your broken team. That's not me, and I don't think most players are like that. I think Trevor Lawrence thinks he's going to make the Jaguars a Super Bowl contender in 1 or 2 years, but that's not going to happen. Wait. I'm not sponsored by G Fuel, but I am super happy to have it. I would like to be sponsored by G Fuel.
Yeah, you got to fill out the application. Get a few more subs in here. And, if anybody's in here that is not subscribed, please hit the button. Not sure who's all in here right now, but I got a pretty good idea. Going forward, was there any other off-topic sports news of the week that you wanted to discuss a little bit about?
Yeah, the Reds are on a 2-game losing streak. When do we start worrying?
First road series of the year, playing at different times. I don't think you worry about the last 3 games.
I don't think you worry. I'm so they won 5 out of their 6 at home, which was a great season opener. They went on the road and they won their first game on the road. I think that was a statement that they can do it. In their second game on the road, they only lost because of their dumpster fire reliever pitcher they put in. They were already up 3-0. They could have closed that game. They only had 3 or 4 innings left. That's why they lost, specifically him. I think they would have won at least 2 games in the Diamondbacks series. The last night's game or whatever, the last game they played, I didn't even watch because it was just bad. But, I don't think we worry yet, but, it's a Cincinnati thing. I'm not gonna cry about it just yet. They've made me enjoy baseball again this year.
So let's touch on it for just a second. You've got 2 of your 5 starters that are in your rotation that are still out with injury.
Yeah.
Okay. So
and 2 of them are pitchers, aren't they?
Yeah, 2 starting pitchers that are still out of the rotation that are on injured reserve. So you've got, out of your first so many games, you started 2 guys that weren't even planned on starting to begin with, and you still won. You're still 6-3 in 9 games. One more game, if they win tonight in San Francisco, that's 7 out of 10. That's almost
70%. 70% win record is a good win record, especially in Cincinnati. I'll take anything over 500.
And then the other point to that is that you're never going to just dominate teams. I mean, there will not be teams that win 120, 130 games in Major League Baseball. It just won't happen. So to go on the road, you basically lose a series, but you did win a game and you were competitive the second game. I don't think that's anything to shudder over. And, the thing of it is that these guys cooled off a little bit. They played at different times. Now they're more acclimated to the West Coast.
I was going to say another thing is the difference in, being home and then going out west. One, Cincinnati never does too great out west, but the stadiums are much bigger. So I think, that makes a difference. That's why they haven't hit 10 home runs in these last 2 games. the stadium size difference, especially in Arizona, San Francisco, all of those West Coast teams that Cincinnati never really performs well at. They're good at home. They're not able to just hit dinger after dinger because the field's not quite as small as they're used to.
Oh, absolutely. The point is that, they're not going to hit the way they hit them first 6 games the whole season. Everybody goes
especially on the road.
They go into San Francisco tonight and play, and I didn't look at the starting pitchers, but they have.
It's Tyler or Miley.
Malley.
Wait, there's Malley and there's Miley.
Miley is Wade Miley.
Yeah, that's who's starting tonight. Wade Miley.
Okay, so he went 6 innings in his first game, didn't give up a single run, and I'm not sure who's starting for San Francisco tonight, but it's one of those things. They've got the offense to put runs up. The guys have started out hot. They cooled off a little bit in Arizona. Let's see if they can pick it back up today.
I think they're going to have a better series in San Francisco than they did with Arizona, because just purely on the fact that it was their first road games of the season.
Yep.
I think now they're getting kind of adjusted to not being home, and they're like, all right, we got to take a different approach. We can't just go in there, balls to the wall like we did at home and hope for the best, and it worked out. They're slowing down a little, and, a reality check set in. I'm going to skip one comment to go to this one. Not only rookie mistakes, which she's referring to the India potential double play that he overthrew the base. But that reliever pitcher is seriously just not good. He gave up five runs in 1 inning, and that's why they lost.
Yeah, he couldn't throw a strike. That was the reason why he got cut from Houston, was the same reason why he probably shouldn't have been in that bullpen. Beyond that, she talks about James Conner visiting the Cards.
Oh yeah, see, I only skipped over that because we were still talking about baseball. But these were the other sports news that I heard today. James Conner visiting the Cards. I think he'll do all right there. They've got a decent offensive line, and I don't love James Conner. One, I don't love anyone that plays in Pittsburgh. It's just gonna be that way the rest of my life. But I think he won't be a game changer, but they do need a decent running back to add to their lineup. And I think he'll be good just to fill the position.
I'm going to completely go to the other direction with that. I think he may get a contract. He may get picked up based on some success at Pittsburgh. I think he's not. I think he's a garbage back. I don't think he's that good.
I think he can catch.
I just think that he's going to either bounce around for a few years and be gone. We definitely had differentiating opinions about Jadeveon Clowney's professionalism, but you're right.
I mean, despite the professionalism, because every big name player that walks into the league is going to have a different personality, or they're all going to be the same. They're either going to be great and friendly and this, or they're going to be whiny and Carson Wentz and this. But at the end of the day, I think he's talented. I think the only issues, which I've said it a couple of times now, the only issues with Cleveland was, their defense. They couldn't close games out. They could have probably beat the Steelers for the number 1 seed if they had won, 1 or 2 more games. And it was like fourth quarter losses. They lost because their defense gave up points. They've had a bunch of additions on the defensive end. I think this guy is definitely going to help them. With things like little things to help, stop the run or break up some passes. He's right there in the middle of the secondary. Like, I think he's going to, if they give him a contract, he's going to make good plays. I think the only issue with him going to Cleveland is the contract itself. If they give him, he's been on the board since the beginning of the season. I think he's got a couple more years and even maybe a couple more Pro Bowls left in him. But with that being said, no one picked him up, and maybe that was due to his professionalism, like you and I had talked about earlier today. But I think with that being said, if they can give him a good contract where they're not throwing money at him, I think he's going to be very useful as long as he, stays.
An incentive-based contract sounds like a win for a guy like that.
Yeah, see, if they can give him something like that, like if you are able to perform, we'll give you more money, but this is what you're going to get, and this is just so you have a job.
Coming out of Clemson, that dude was a monster. He was a beast, and all the talk was when him and J.J. Watt got together, and he never really just panned out in Houston the way that they thought he would, whether it was just expectation, but what, he really bared down and he got better. So I think Cleveland might be a good home for him. I really don't want to see him do well there, but I want to see him do well. It's just that I being a Cincinnati Bengals fan, you just always root for anybody else in your division. But
yeah, but I mean, if I'm gonna root for a team within the AFC East that's not the Bengals, it's gonna be the Browns every time. Or sorry, AFC North. I was just thinking. I just saw something about Julian Edelman again. But the AFC North, it's never going to be Baltimore, and it's definitely never going to be Pittsburgh. So if I had to root for one team, I'll take Cincinnati's big brother team over the other two any day.
Yeah, right on. Shelby's talking about the loss of Kenyon Drake.
Yeah, he went to the Raiders. They think them picking up Kenyon Drake's going to save their season. Yeah, they're not going to make it to the playoffs. Yeah, they're not going to do anything. If any other team in that division makes it to the playoffs, it's going to be the Chargers. But that's still going to be rocky for them because they got rid of their head coach, so they're bringing a new guy in. And, it's just like the equivalent of having a new guy, new quarterback, new anything. It's going to take some time to adjust. But, so Kenyon Drake's with the Raiders. I like Chase Edmonds, actually. He's not a number one running back, and I don't think James Conner can fill that shoes. But I think that it'll fit it. He'll fit in there just fine. Yeah, I did see that last year, but that's because he went everywhere looking for a big contract, but no one had money to give him last year. So I think, he's been to the Browns and visited them. This is their second visit today. I think he's finally getting the point that not everybody's going to throw money at him, and if he wants a job, he's going to have to suck it up and take what he gets. Why would he come back a second time, like a second year, and have multiple visits this year? And if he already told him no, I think maybe they have worked something out, and they're just trying to, polish up the details and make it workable for both sides of that deal for him and for the team. I think I like Kevin Stefanski. I think he's got a good head on his shoulders, and I don't think he's going to throw away what he's been building to.
Come on, snap out of it.
Okay, I don't know what you heard and what you didn't hear, but basically what I said was Kevin Stefanski's got a good head on his shoulders, and I don't think he's going to throw away what he's been building to give one guy a big contract.
Right. I was just sitting there reading a little bit about Clowney going forward. He did not
Wasn't he with Tennessee last year?
Yeah, his stats last year with Tennessee were less than spectacular. He had 8 games, 19 tackles, and 0 sacks in 8 games. I still think he's a super talented guy.
I think the reason he hasn't put up great numbers in the last couple years is because he's been bouncing teams. He was with, Houston a couple of years ago. He was with Tennessee last year.
That's the only 2 he's been with. He was with Houston for his first 5 years of his contract.
Yes, so Tennessee. Okay, so that makes sense too. But Tennessee, it was his first year with the team, and he only played half a season. So it's being new. It's going to take some time.
Well, anytime you put a new system in front of a guy, you don't necessarily know if he is going to adapt or work out or not. Take him outside.
Oh, yeah, I agree completely. I think I think if he plays all season and, they've worked with him to get whatever his ego's telling him to say straightened out. I think he could be very effective with that Cleveland defense that's already going in the right direction. Like, they're building every year to get a little bit better, and that was the thing that kept them from competing. As they couldn't stop people at the end of games to make that one stop they needed to change the game. They just couldn't do it, and that's all the games they lost. I feel like, other than one or two blowout games, like the first week of the season against Baltimore, which was division game, so anything can happen in those, so nothing surprises me. But like other games they lost this season, it came down to the end. All they needed was one stop, one this, one that, but their defense was what was letting them down and holding them back from going further.
Hey, there's just one other thing that I wanted to touch base on with you today that I had read in an interview with the Carolina Panthers. They say that they are still open to drafting a quarterback despite having Bridgewater and Darnold on the roster.
I told you I think they might go after Trey Lance. Like, if they have their eyes on any one quarterback in the draft, that's the one. I think Trey Lance is who they want if they take one. But they said they're still taking offers for Teddy Bridgewater as well. So, with that being said, they're keeping Sam Darnold. They just got him. I think, which is good for him because, they're exercising his 5th-year option. So that he's only got 1 year with them as of right now. And if they draft a quarterback, they can sit behind him. And, if he does well, they might re-sign him another year or two and keep that rookie quarterback or use him for draft capital or trade value. Or he does horrible. Well, they had a rookie quarterback sit behind him all year, so now he'll be ready to play. I think it's smart for Carolina to take a quarterback.
Yeah, obviously, if you're going to rebuild your team, you need to have the right guy behind center. And having two guys that could possibly be that is much better than having one, because it's obvious that Teddy didn't work out in Carolina like people thought he would. And that's fair. He probably has a better chance in a place like I think Teddy Bridgewater would fit in great in a place like Philadelphia, to be honest. Or you know what? Even the Giants would be a nice place for him to end up.
See, I was thinking the Giants. I don't know why, but that was the one team that kind of drew my interest. I'm surprised, honestly, that when they traded for Sam Darnold, Teddy Bridgewater was not in that trade.
Yeah, that's actually a really true fact there. I thought that he might go as in that trade as well, and I was really kind of surprised that they kept a hold of him.
Yeah. It was whatever team this year that said it. Oh, San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo saying, Jimmy's our guy, blah, blah, blah. And, at the beginning of free agency, Carolina was like, Teddy's our guy, Teddy's our quarterback. But now they're like, yeah, we'll trade him if you want him. Well, what will you give him for us? We'll get rid of him. We don't care. And then they go and pick up another quarterback and didn't trade him with him. So they got what they wanted for, getting Sam Darnold. But now they're like, well, we still have a quarterback, so we could still probably get something for that.
Do you think San Francisco is making a mistake by potentially drafting Mac Jones third?
Oh, yeah. If they draft Mac Jones, they're not going to be competitive until he's gone.
That's a pretty bold statement, but
I'm serious. That division is really tough as is. Mac Jones is not good. He was just surrounded in Alabama with the best of the best. It's easy to be good when everyone else is already great. He had minimal work. He couldn't even perform in a pro day, which is the easiest thing ever. All you do is throw a ball to one guy with no one in your face, no pressure, nothing. All you got to do is get the ball to this guy a couple times and impress a couple people. He couldn't do that. He looked good in the championship, but like I said, no one in Ohio State was guarding the number one wide receiver who just won the Heisman 2 weeks beforehand. No one guarded him, so he had 3 touchdowns in the first quarter, first half, whatever. It's easy to make that guy look good. He's a walking trash can. The only place that Mac Jones will go and do well, or eventually be well, is in New England under Bill Belichick, because Bill Belichick takes little walking trash cans and turns them into something good.
Just as like every backup quarterback that's left New England was good in New England and generally bad everywhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah. The other story about this is that we're getting close to 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10. That's kind of unheard of. And I don't – do you feel that this quarterback class is that deep with real talent?
I don't – no, I don't. Oh, here we go. But anyway, no, I understand why Trevor Lawrence is there. He could have went to the draft last year, but I think he really wanted to be the number 1 pick, and after getting his ass beat by Joe Burrow, he knew it wasn't happening. Joe Burrow had an incredible college season, way better than, in my opinion, than Trevor Lawrence's season this year. But
oh no, we froze again.
Oh, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to be great when playing dumpster fire teams. I don't think he's going to be great all the time. Just this is so frustrating. Anyway, Justin Fields showed promise against good teams. He pretty much shattered his ribs and just stood up and kept playing.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Yo, what's up, Colin? But I was just back to, the whole Mac Jones thing. I think you're right. I think he's a game.
He's a walking turd.
Gosh. Yeah, I got you, Shelby. Yeah, I don't think he's as good as what they're portraying him out to be. There's a couple other quarterbacks that are kind of sneaky good. Kyle Trask out of Florida.
I think he has not been talked about at all. And
yeah,
I'm pretty sure he is going to the draft, right?
Pretty sure. Kellen Mond out of Texas A&M and Jamie Newman out of Wake Forest. Those are all names that it could be late first rounders, maybe second rounders. But I cannot, if you're a betting person right now, if you go to any of the sports books, I think that the over and under is 5. I think there might be 6 quarterbacks taken in the first round, and I think that's a pretty good payout if you like the bet, on stuff like that. I kind
of want to put money down on Justin Fields going as the first overall, just in case.
And I still say that's a definitive possibility because who knows his career better than Urban Meyer?
Yeah, but that too. And also, Justin Fields had a pro day, and Trevor Lawrence is set to be the first number 1 overall pick. So he did not have a pro day. He's out golfing with NFL players this week instead of doing other things like the rest of these guys are, trying to, show their worth. But Justin Fields had a really good pro day. I don't know if you watched any of them. I have a lot of free time sometimes, and that week of the first round of pro days, I watched all of them, every minute. And out of all the quarterbacks I watched in the pro day, Zach Wilson looked probably like the best quarterback there. He's not going to be the best quarterback, but in terms of pro day, he looked the best. But Justin Fields was right there. I'd probably give, Zach Wilson a 10 out of 10 on his pro day, and I'd give Justin Fields a 9.8. They were right there. I think Justin Fields will do better in the NFL than Zach Wilson. Going to the Jets or not, I think Justin Fields will be the best quarterback that goes in the top 10. But that being said, back to Mac Jones real quick. Yeah, I think he's just stupid. He's got a stupid face. He's got a stupid personality. He's like, I'm surrounded by greatness, so I'm great. You're going to have to learn to respect that. And then now he's going to go to the NFL, and he's going to get beat up on. He's going to throw a lot of interceptions because all these wide receivers are not Devontae Smith, who can catch anything with no defenders on him. People defend receivers in the NFL. That just happens.
So that being said, back to what we were just at, you talked about Trevor Lawrence having all his numbers against trash. How many defenses in the NFL do you think are better than Ohio State or Alabama's defense?
I was going to say those two are the best two, especially in the last 5 years. They are the best defenses. I mean, LSU's defense wasn't that bad with Joe Burrow. I didn't follow them that much this year, but they got their ass kicked because their entire team went into the draft with Joe Burrow, except for like 3 players.
And that's what I was getting back to. Every time Trevor Lawrence goes up against
yeah. So, Houday Forever said Georgia. I didn't even think about Georgia, and so now I feel really bad. But yeah, Georgia was one of those defenses that I think weren't talked about. I think Georgia's like a tough team. I just lost my train of thought. Sorry. But yeah, like Georgia has a good team. I think they've always been pretty well in college football. How many quarterbacks that are in the draft this year played against Georgia though?
Trask and we can definitely say Trask and Zach Jones for sure.
Zach Jones?
Or, God dang it.
Were you talking about Zach Wilson or Mac
Jones? Hey, come on. Kyle Trask and Mac Jones were both. The kid from that we were just talking about from Texas A&M. God, I lost my train of thought now. Good job. Kellen Mond.
Kellen Mond, yeah.
So I think those 3 guys that are potential first, second round picks, they all had the opportunity to play Georgia. I was getting ready to look up some stats here while we were chit-chatting. And welcome, Houday Forever. Yay.
I have a feeling that Houday Forever is my buddy Steven from work, but I'm not 100% sure. Just because he said Georgia, and he's the only person I know that's a Georgia fan. But yeah, Mac Jones may have played them, but like I said, and anybody who plays for Alabama who has the team that they had can look good without being good.
Let's see.
Mac Jones, Kyle Trask, Justin Fields during the playoffs.
Yeah, so they smacked Auburn last year. They smacked Tennessee. They gave up 41 to Alabama.
Well, yeah, but Alabama was the team to beat last year.
So 2 of those quarterbacks that we just talked about were the 2 of the quarterbacks that beat Georgia last year. Both teams put up 44. Florida won 44-28. Alabama won 41-24. But that's Georgia's only 2 losses last year against top 10 teams. One was at Alabama.
Sorry, Houday Forever, but thanks for coming. I'm glad you like the Bengals because we like the Bengals here too. So thanks for coming and hanging out and having knowledge to show us where we're wrong.
Yeah, heck yeah. But that's that. I mean, that just goes without saying. Well, we still think that Mac Jones is should not be a first round pick.
I mean, he's gonna go in the first round either way, but he should not be a top 10 pick. I'll say that. I don't think he should go in the top 10.
Wow. Sam Darnold got introduced as QB1. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize they made that choice in Carolina.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was going with when I was talking about the whole Teddy Bridgewater thing, how they, a couple weeks ago, they were like, Teddy's my guy. He's our quarterback. And then all of a sudden, they draft Sam Darnold and like, here's QB1. QB1's here now. And so I just find it funny every time a team says, yeah, that's our guy. Because when they say that, he's either gone that year or he doesn't play anymore.
So going on forward after all of what we've been through today, any other sports news? I thought you said you had a couple other off-topic things. I know we did the Reds a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
I think they bounced back today.
Yeah, I think they bounced back today. and it might not be a win, but I think it's going to be more competitive than their last 2 games. But I just wanted to make a quick shout out to our buddy Mark. He's probably not here, but the Cubs got their ass beat by the Pirates yesterday, and I specifically remember him coming on this channel and said, there was no competition with them playing the Pirates this year at all. They lost like 7-1. It was awesome. Sorry, anybody else that's a Cubs fan in here. I will never be a Cubs fan. God hates the Cubs. But I did want to just make that little shout out. I've been thinking about it ever since I watched their game last night. They lost 7-1 to Pittsburgh. I mean, it was in Pittsburgh, so he'll use that excuse. Well, they were away from home, but people can win on the road.
Yeah, right on. San Francisco has come off of a recent hot streak as well. They've won 4 in a row, fueled by pitching, not a lot of run production. So I think this might be this 3-game series might be a big challenge for the Reds. I hope to see them win 2 out of 3. If they only win 1 out of 3, I'm not going to be overly disappointed because of how good their pitching staff is. San Francisco has the second-rated team in ERA, and they've given up the least amount of home runs in Major League Baseball, which they're going to go against a team that's hit the most.
Has the most, yeah.
So I think that's going to be an interesting thing at 9:45 tonight. Definitely going to watch that. One more little tidbit of Cincinnati news that we can hit on really fast, and I think this is really a interesting piece. Is UC Bearcats coach John Brannon has gotten put on suspension and let go. I'm telling you that one is going to court. That one's going to be litigated and fought. If anybody's a college basketball fan, they should really pay attention to what happens here, because the accusations against this guy are that he was working the kids too hard and stuff like that. So I think that's going to be an interesting story going forward in college basketball. This whole area in the last 2 weeks has been nothing but bumping. There's a lot of optimism here. When's the last time we sit here and had optimism between the Bengals, the Reds, the Hoosiers,
and IU? Yeah.
When have we been able to effectively? And you know what? Even the Indianapolis Colts. I mean, even though there's a lot of optimism, even though we hate Carson Wentz, there's still a lot of optimism around the team.
Oh yeah, that team is phenomenal without Wentz. I think they could have left Brissett and done fairly well this year. The only reason he wasn't a starter last year and they picked up Rivers was because he had gotten hurt and came back and was not performing so well. Oh, yeah, bat flip and show buttons, sons of guns. They're going to come show everybody who they are this year, and I have not been this excited about baseball in a long time. I can't even give you a time frame, but it's been a while since I was a kid probably.
Yeah, the best time we ever had was when we got to go to opening day a few years back.
Oh, yeah, the last opening day we had was that's different. I mean, I was excited because I'd never been to opening day. We got treated really well with some nice seats and things like that. So that, made for a whole big difference. The season wasn't as exciting as this season has started off. But they did win that game on opening day. So that was awesome. It was a crazy, down to the last inning game. I had so much fun. But before that, that memory was good. But before that, I have not been this excited for a baseball season in a long time.
Yeah, and just back to the area optimism. I'm gonna say going forward, the Bengals have they have optimism. I think they're headed for a 500 record minimum this year. I think they're going to play that well. I think that they may be better than that if they can learn to win the close games. No way. You know what? I thought about that, Shelby. Hold on. I'll just stop my thought right there. Archie Miller is probably going to sit a year.
He's probably going to go back to college, but I don't think UC.
Right now, I think what they're after, because they took John Brannon and he was from Northern Kentucky. NKU got put into Division I, and he won in Division I with a team being bumped up, which is unheard of. He is a great coach. He is just like he's the same product of what Archie was at Indiana, not ready for that environment. UC's environment, the American Athletic Conference is not a top tier conference, but it's pretty damn close. There's a lot of good teams in there. And yeah, I don't think that that's going to happen. I would much rather take a shot on Sean Miller from Arizona, even though he just got fired and has sanctions against him, before I went after Archie. Archie's going to end up in a mid-major. That's where he needs to be. Cincinnati's program is it deserves a little bit more. Whoa, what's just mean?
Oh, he said, how about that Panthers quarterback? There we go.
Which one?
I think they're talking about Darnold.
Yeah, you know what? I feel bad for Sam Darnold because I don't think anybody was going to win in New York last year.
No, I mean, even Joe Flacco played a couple of games when Darnold got hurt. I don't love Joe Flacco. He played in Baltimore, but I don't hate him. He's not the worst quarterback I've ever watched, and he did what he could with that team. I think they were purposefully tanking. They lost their head coach halfway through the season. They didn't even finish the season with him, and they were kind of a mess. And so, there was no hopes for that team last year. They have like 10 or 11 draft picks this year. They've made some good moves already in free agency. They have a chance. I don't think they're going to be able to compete with the other 3 teams in the division, but, it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm happy for Sam Darnold. As soon as they made that trade, I was like, oh, okay, so Sam Darnold's going to Carolina to die. His career's over. But I started thinking about it, and I think he might have a good year there, honestly.
And going back to Colin here, you know what? Teddy Bridgewater, I got you. We're not giving the Louisville grads a lot of credit going forward, and that's another great Louisville quarterback that played excellent down there. I forget about. I wasn't even thinking about that angle on it. Him and Lamar, they were both good quarterbacks in college, and I thought more was going to happen. I thought Teddy Bridgewater was going to be a really good NFL quarterback, and he still may yet. He's just got to find the right home for him, and obviously it's not Carolina under this new system.
I seriously loved Teddy Bridgewater with New Orleans. 8 games he played. But I loved him there. Like I said before, it was the coaching, that helped his career and his season there do so well. And plus, they had a good defense. But oh man, I had so much fun watching him there. And so that's why I had such high hopes. And now it's just sad. I hate everything that's happening to him.
It may be a little far-fetched, but he might end up in Chicago as well.
I could see that. I don't know. I think they're gonna. Did they re-sign Nick Foles? I'm not sure. But if they did, I think they're set with Andy and Nick Foles. I know a lot of.
Here goes your internet again.
This is frustrating.
Hey, I can hear you now, though. There you go.
Oh, okay. But I was going to say, with having Nick Foles and Andy Dalton, people will laugh about that and be like, that's just pathetic. But, even coming from a Cincinnati fan who was everyone wanted him gone, but I don't think it was his fault for Cincinnati's failures. That's tough. Teddy doesn't turn the ball over as much as Jameis.
Man, that's a really. Do you take the good with the bad? If somebody can fix Jameis Winston's turnover rate, he could be an elite quarterback in the NFL.
I mean, he did have eye surgery, so now he can see the difference in jerseys.
Did you ever see him in college football running out of the huddle to kind of look over to the side to see signs?
Oh yeah. He had eye surgery after his 30 for 30 season with Tampa Bay.
He didn't have 30-30 vision, that's for sure.
He might now. We don't know. He's only played a few snaps with New Orleans, and that Wildcat play they had last year. I think it was in the playoffs. Actually, that was freaking awesome. I still think he's got a chance.
I still think Teddy has a shot
I think they
somewhere.
both do, but like Jameis, even though he went 30 for 30, like 30 touchdowns is a lot of touchdowns for someone who is considered below average.
Yeah, when he was a prospect at Florida State, he had the same issues, and that was the only thing that they talked about was were they going to be able to. But he threw the ball so hard in college that his turnovers, it was hard for them defensive backs just to even catch the ball, much less as wide receivers. I'm not sure how his career is going to end up. He's probably going to end up as a backup forever. I really think that that's where he'll end up. Teddy Bridgewater's got enough talent to be a starter. It's just I think he's got to find the right system and get his head right to do that.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Yeah, but no, yeah, JP, nice to see you, my friend. Who is your football team, if you have one, or are you just a beer guy? Because I
I'm
know.
pretty sure he's a Carolina guy because he was the one that was like defending them and talking about them being in a rebuild. So, like, here it is right here. I think he's a Carolina guy.
JP is, in case anybody doesn't know it, into the whole gold prospecting crew. He has a great live stream on Saturday nights called JP's Bar, something to that effect. I have a lot of fun when I get over there. I haven't been able to hit it much lately because I've been spending some of my days metal detecting and working on my own stuff, but I love JP. He was pretty fun to hang out with. He was with me the night that I passed out in the middle of Marlon's live stream at 3 a.m., so I gotta appreciate my brother for that.
Someone can't hang, obviously.
That was a lot of vodka that day.
That's disgusting.
Oh my God, on my phone.
Just turn it off.
I keep turning the sound off because I gotta see it if work gets a hold of me. So anyway, yeah, but JP's a good dude, and he's got a great channel as well. So anybody in here that doesn't have JP on your list, his live streams are pretty nice. I definitely enjoy them. Can go and hang out anytime. So what else do you have that you want to get into today?
I was gonna say am I cutting out?
Not right now.
Okay, well, I was just gonna take just a second to anybody that's in here that doesn't already have it, and I was gonna drop my TubeBuddy link. So just a quick update. If you don't know what TubeBuddy is, it is very helpful in any YouTube channel setting. I'm losing my train of thought, but anyway, you know what I'm saying. So if anybody is interested in using TubeBuddy, I can drop this link and you can check it out, and it's very helpful for looking up statistics and analytics of your channel. It gives you suggestions when you're making your video to what tags you should use, if your thumbnail is going to stand out. It tells you all of that stuff that you need to know to help make your channel keep growing. So if anybody wants to check that out, there's the link. And if you already have it, then you already know what I'm talking about, and that's awesome too because it's very useful.
Especially if you're trying to grow your channel.
Especially for smaller channels. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely got free tools in there that can help a smaller channel grow and get more views almost instantly. So definitely check that out. I have it. I use it quite a bit, and it's really helped me with my tags and stuff like that. It really helped me adjust them. It also ranks your tags for you. It lets you know which one of your tags that you're using is doing well, so you know to always keep those in.
Yeah. So yeah, that when I was setting up the tags for this video, it was like telling me, yeah, don't use that one because no one searches that. So it keeps you from wasting your time on putting tags that you think is going to help that, no one's looking for unless, there's that one person that looks up something random. But if anybody doesn't know, my dad has his own other YouTube channel. It's called Ohio River History. Here's the account name itself. He just hit his 1,000 subs. He's on the road.
Oh, looky there. She cuts out in the middle of my plug, right?
What's that? Yeah, you're in the middle of your success on the other side of the world, the more, outdoor stuff still, but you're doing non-sports ball related things. So if anybody likes metal detecting, go check my dad out, show him some love. He got his 1K. This is a huge day for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We're having a lot of fun. TubeBuddy had something to do with some of that too, because I do use it and I adjusted my tags with it. So I think it helped. A lot of them subs just came out of nowhere. It grew really fast, and
it was awesome. It was awesome watching it, just sitting back as a viewer, watching your channel grow. It was beautiful.
So as of right now, our regular Thursday night, 11 o'clock start for late night chat will be on again this week. We have not decided a topic yet for this week.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, if you have anything you want to talk about, you can just let us know, and, we'll get some stuff together. We might touch the draft if anything new happens. We might touch some free agency if anything new happens. But I think this one's going to be more of any kind of sports going on you want to talk about. NBA is getting close to the playoffs. Baseball is just getting, in the heat of the moment. It's starting up and taking off finally. Don't know anything about hockey, but if there's someone in here that wants to throw some hockey at us, we'll learn. We'll listen to you and learn and, try things out. If you want to talk about the Masters, I've got nothing to say about golf, but you know what? I will talk to you about golf the best I can. I'll watch some highlights and things. Soccer is getting, on foot right now, so I have specific teams and stuff I follow, but I don't know football or soccer football as well as everything else. So any kind of sports on Thursday you want to throw at us, any news, updates, opinions, whatever, come throw about it. Come on out on Thursday. Also, I'm going to go ahead and drop the link because we've been here for an hour and a half. If anyone wants to come up and join us, click this link. You can come hang out and, maybe you could throw some more opinions on some of the stuff we've already talked about. Also, Who Day Forever. Thank you. We enjoy as all of our people who come and watch us, we've got a variety of fans. We got, we saw the Panthers fans. We got quite a few Browns fans. We got a Giants fan, Bills fans. I'm a Chiefs fan, but I grew up in a Bengals family. And so me and Shelby and Dad, we are Bengals fans. So it's nice having another Bengals fan. I feel like there aren't any other than us three. And that's so strange, living around here where it's just all Bengals fans around here. So it's super cool. So shout out to Who Day Forever.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that a lot of times I'm a avid follower of college basketball, and we'll always – if I deem something necessary, we'll drop something in pretty fast. Check it out. We did one last week that did really well about the coaching addition at Indiana with Dane Fife coming back, which was big for our university. It did really well. And then there's Miss Shelby was over there sitting here. I got to say something real fast. She hits us up with stats faster than anybody I've ever seen. It's like, oh, yeah. Oh, come on, Colin. That's not true. Your face isn't too ugly. Hey.
But yeah, shout out to Shelby. She's like my statistician over there. She's in the other room, and I my internet sucks so bad that I can't pull up other things while we're streaming. So shout out to her for that. Also, any photography people. She doesn't have a YouTube channel yet, but she does have an Instagram, Facebook group, and you can drop your name in the chat and I'll pull it up right here. But she does photography. Her name's Snapshark Photography. She's starting that up she started up last year, but COVID kind of put a damper on things. So, hopefully this year will be a little better for that.
Yeah, hopefully. See what we can do.
Man, like I said, I like the stats that she pulls up. She definitely tweaks my interest with conversation because I read her comments and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a good way to spin that. So
yeah, definitely. So normally I'm good for stats like that, but when me and you are sitting here talking, I get so caught up in our conversation that I can't remember these numbers. Even if I have them as notes right in front of me, I don't think to look at them because I just get on a roll talking with you and whatever. And then so Shelby popping in on these comments, just dropping all these stats for me. I'm like, yeah, you're doing the work we should probably be doing. But, it's nice having you right there to help us out a little bit.
So out of today's topics, Shelby,
Thanks.
what was the
I always
most?
like this sitting over here watching.
What was the most? What was your most disputed comment that we brought out about the topics today? Because there was a lot of things that probably deemed, maybe you completely disagreed with. Maybe there was something that you didn't like that you heard. I want to hear the negative. I don't want to hear the positive.
Putting you on the spot now.
Well, I know. Well, most of it I agreed with. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that Burrow is kind of taking control of the team, especially with Zach Taylor. I mean, if we leave Zach Taylor in charge, who knows what's going to happen? I don't hate him, but I just don't think he's the right guy for the job. So who knows what he would pick up? Is he going to pick up something that just he likes, or is he going to reach out and ask the team, like, who do you think is a good pickup?
I think that should be all decided between front office management and coaches. I
do think Joe Burrow's opinion should be taken consideration no matter what.
Yeah, I think they should have an opinion in there on that. But he wants his brothers. He wants them guys from who he played with, and I still say that Penei Sewell is a lifetime type of talent at tackle.
Okay, so to make the argument for Penei, I've been arguing all month about Kyle Pitts, and he's a 1 in a million years type of tight end. That's kind of how I'm feeling with
and she's locked up.
Oh.
Come on, finish, Alex. There you go.
Oh, yeah, I got it. Okay, so
once in a lifetime talent, or sort of.
Yeah, that's how I feel about Penei right now as he's releasing video after video, clip of him showing himself staying in shape, getting big, getting ready for the draft. Everything about that's super exciting. And so, I think he's going to be like another Quentin Nelson kind of talent.
I agree with that. Quentin Nelson's pretty underrated, to be honest. But
the fair thing is that the three guys that are most discussed being drafted by Cincinnati this year, Penei, Pitts, and Chase, are probably three guys that are definitely top 10 picks regardless of who picks them up.
Also, welcome, Patriot King.
Whose mic is still muted, and we're looking at Tom Brady's face.
Yo, what up?
What's going on?
Right? I don't want to sit here and look at that.
Pretty kind of salty Julian Edelman retired.
Oh yeah, I'm not a Patriots fan. I'm more of a Patriots hater than a fan, but I appreciate everything they've done here lately. I'm pretty sad about Julian Edelman. I can't stop thinking about it ever since the news broke. It kind of sucks because he's such a good dude. He's a good player on and off the field.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm asking that question for you. No, you're not. You're a Chiefs fan. Obviously, you hate everybody on our roster.
I don't hate everyone on your roster. I actually love Julian Edelman. I respect him not just as a a player, but as a person as well. And so my beef is with Brady, not the Patriots.
Yeah, we'll be back up there.
I think you guys are on road to come back very soon, actually. I mean, the Buffalo Bills have been top dog in your division since Brady left, but I
hate when you freeze.
Don't forget
me in Buffalo.
She kind of froze, but I was going to say, y'all got Justin Herbert in your division too. It's not like it's not like he's going to be laying down or anything.
Hey, your mic is just a hair.
My mic's messing up, or
no, it's just a little quiet. I can hear you, but you're just a little far. You seem like you're a little bit back from it or something. Sorry, I would just prefer to hear you better.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you
There
hear me
you
now?
go.
There we go.
That's really good.
That's fair.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I believe if Cam has the right weapons, which he does right now, he should. We'll be back at the top. We'll
Oh,
take care
yeah,
of the Bills, hopefully.
Yeah, just a couple weeks ago, we were actually spent about 30 minutes, 45 minutes talking about the Patriots, and I really like the re-signing of Cam. I think now that he's got a whole year with them, even though it didn't go great under his belt, he's gotten more time, and I think with all their free agent pickups and, bringing Cam back, I think they're going to have at least, I'd say minimum 9 games they'll win this year, if not more.
Yeah, we were calling
We'll
10-7
win.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, for sure.
We should win more than that. We should win. I'm assuming 12-4. I'm assuming up in there, like, Cam should do good in, like, 10-7. Like, we're not used to that shit. So sorry for my language if y'all ban cussing, but
No, good. You're all right.
You're good.
yeah, 12 games are a minimum.
Well,
I mean, I'd like to see it because, with Brady gone, I feel like Belichick's almost like taking a fire back revenge tour. And so I would like to see the Patriots, come back and do really well just as a shot at Brady because I think Bill Belichick at the end of the day is still a little salty he left. And he's never spent this much money in free agency. I think they're going to have a really good season. He's got a good game plan, and I think they're going to be back in everyone's talks this year for sure.
as being a New England guy, a lot of the conversation going forward earlier is that how do you feel about the way Belichick attacked free agency and went out and got all these quality players like very fast, swiftly, and spent the money to improve his team?
To be honest, it's kind of like a no shocker because like if he didn't attack free agency or like the way he did or in the draft, like it just shows like he's not trying. So basically, like since he's attacking free agency the way he is, like I feel confident a bit because Bill Belichick is actually trying to win. Like
Yeah, compared to like last year
coach.
where he wasn't even in the room when his draft picks were getting called. Like
I think that was just a comedy skit, I think it was just him being. But he came out and said last year, like, yeah, we didn't have the kind of money we wanted this year to be able to do what we wanted, and he kind of just took an L on the year. He still tried to be competitive, but he kind of accepted his defeat for the season, and he knew that was going to happen. But I think all while that was happening, he was making preparations for this season to, start putting his foot forward, and so they can keep being competitive like they have been in the last 20 years.
Right.
Yeah, I still think that New England has an outside. Buffalo right now is got a really good team, and New England was fairly competitive against them. I think they've got an outside chance right now before the draft to be very competitive. And with the Jets in that division, and who knows how the Dolphins are going to turn out? Are they going to flop? Or are they going to be successful? Nobody knows how that's going to work out down there with Tua. So, I mean, the opportunity is definitely there. I will go out on a limb right now and say that New England is in the playoffs. I definitely think New England
it's just
makes
the
the
before
playoffs.
the Dolphins fall. No offense to the Dolphin fans. No offense to Dolphin fans. I don't even like the franchise or the Jets or the Bills, but it's just a matter of time before the Dolphins fall. And the Jets, we own everything of the Jets, so like we'll get past them. The Bills, to be honest, man, like if our team lives up to the hype, bro, we could take out the Bills too. Like it's not as hard as it seems, probably.
Oh yeah, with it being a division game, anything can happen, and even like on the Patriots' worst day, if they still have the opportunity to beat the bet any of the guys in your division any game because of just the division rivalry. But to the Dolphins thing, I think the defense is the only thing keeping them alive. I think they're kind of a mess on offense.
Yeah, I got to say that's the other part of that. Of this total offseason, I think we've discussed in here more about New England football than we ever intended to, just because everything's been so interesting going forward, and it looks like they're on the uptick. I mean, everything that they've done in the offseason, it has been the right move for them right now, and I think they're back. I don't think you could have. Nobody should have counted them out last year, but nobody. I feel like with everybody sitting out and not playing the season, I just feel like they called last year a wash, tried to get everybody through it healthy, that they were going to keep, because they, right after that they went out and got their free agents. They went through and re-signed quite a few of their players that were on the free agent getting ready to hit it. They re-signed about eight guys, 2 days after they went through all that, where they signed Jonnu Smith and Nelson Aguilar and all them. So I think he kept everybody he wanted. He re-signed what he wanted. And now I'm really anxious to see what he does with them with the draft picks this year. I'm really curious to what he's going to go after. Mr. Patriot King here, you got an opportunity to be back on top of your division. I don't think nobody can argue that right now.
How do you feel about the speculation that they might pick up either Trask or Justin Fields?
You're breaking up, bro.
I think they're gonna keep Cam, and they might draft a quarterback, but it's probably not gonna be first or second round. Am I breaking up?
You're getting a little better.
Now.
Am I breaking up?
You sound good now.
You said that and it went out.
I know.
My opinion on the Trask and Fields thing is they could pick up either one of them just to have sitting behind Cam just in case, because he only signed, what is it, like a 1-year deal?
Yeah, another 1-year extension. But, I think if he does well, they're going to extend him probably to finish his career out.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but I don't know how he's going to do.
Yeah, I mean, they've still got 3 quarterbacks on that roster.
Well, they have Stidham still.
And that Jake Dolega.
I don't know who that one is, but I do know Stidham, and they had another guy last year, Brian Hoyer.
He got released. Jake Dolegala was from Central Connecticut State. And he's a 6'7" first-year quarterback last year. You know what? Where did he come from? Because I've seen his name before. Did he play with anybody else? The Bengals drafted him. Yeah. The Bengals signed him first. Okay.
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
All right.
Did we lose him again?
I think he's there. I don't know.
It's showing him muted right now.
I don't see him as muted.
I don't know.
Nope, there he is.
Like I said, I don't think Bill Belichick is going to take a quarterback in the first or second round. He's probably going to take it in the 4th or 5th or 6th, probably. But I think Cam is the quarterback, and I do think they will take a quarterback. Just in case, as a back, if Cam isn't doing good with the weapons he got right now, put him in as a reinforcement, I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can see
that's
that.
100%. Yeah, I could see that happening more than anything.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. You're good. Yeah, I think if Cam does well this year and performs well, he'll probably end his career the next couple years and stay. They'll give him a contract, but anything can happen this season.
Yeah.
Let's cut it off.
I hear him and then I don't.
Yeah, he's in and out a little bit.
It's all good.
Either way, thanks for coming and joining.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure,
man.
for sure,
I
man.
hear y'all, and I don't either. Like,
Yeah, I think are you on a Wi-Fi connection or what are you on? Just curious.
Your phone, maybe.
well, like, yeah,
He
I'm
gets
on a
2
Wi-Fi.
words.
If I can.
Yeah. You get like 2 or 3 words in and then it broadcasts and then you go silent for 5 to 6
Phone's
seconds.
pretty old. It's an iPhone 7.
I got you.
I got it.
It might be it. But no, I definitely appreciate the opinion. Yeah,
You're
we're definitely
actually our first Patriots fan in here, and we talk about the Patriots every freaking week.
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, as much as we don't like, we don't like them normally, they get a lot of our respect and definitely they've made good choices this go around and we can't argue it. So
Yeah. I like I said before, I think it's always just been Brady to me. I respect Bill Belichick. I think he was a hell of a coach, probably one of the best in the league.
Hey,
yes, sir. Yeah,
last year, even though we had a bad season and stuff, it was a win for us. Brady beat the hell out of the Chiefs, which I like the Chiefs, and it was just a win. Brady did good, and as Patriot fans, we're entitled way to say it.
I can't get all of
I've
what he's
only
saying.
heard some. Yeah.
I did catch something about watching Brady beat up on the Chiefs a little bit in the Super Bowl, and I think that the Patriot fans probably got behind that.
I feel like I have to say this every single time we go live, but I am not mad about that. Like, everyone thinks I am just butthurt. I am not mad the Chiefs lost to Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. I will literally make a daily video every day just telling people that I am not mad about it, and I let it go right after it happened. Like, I moved on.
Oh yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. That was a tough wound to take, especially when it felt the way that it did.
There was just so much going on, with Britt Reed, basically almost killing a 5-year-old in a car crash from drunk driving. Andy Reid's son, who was also on the coaching staff, everyone took that hit that week. Their offensive line was injured. They were setting themselves like they were doomed from the start. Before that game started, they were going to lose. I had been saying it, even before the day of. Like, I didn't feel strong and confident in the team to, take that game after, they're starting. I'm not mad about that game. They were in a bad position.
And I can vouch for her. Like, it was like a week the week before, she was just like, it's not going to be a win.
Yeah, I was just like, it's just
like
bad timing for everything that happened to them to happen to them. I would have liked to see that game be more competitive, but without an offensive line and, the Bucks defense, there was no chance for Patrick Mahomes to, put up points by himself.
King, are you clear? Are you back?
You see, man, that's what happens when we face Tom Brady in the Super Bowl. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I can hear you, and I mean,
You see, when you face Tom
You
Brady,
know,
in the
I
Super
mean,
Bowl,
you're right, and that being said, somebody
when you
has
face
got to
Tom Brady in the
dethrone him.
Super Bowl dynasty,
I mean, I could see a rematch of this last
that
year's
luck
Super Bowl
happened.
this year.
Tom Brady.
You're back to in and out, bro.
The gods are taking away your privilege because you're speaking out of line.
You could dethrone the Chiefs. You can't dethrone the Bengals.
The GOAT can be dethroned by, Nick Foles and Eli Manning. It's happened. He's not unstoppable. The Chiefs had the team to do
Can you
it,
hear
did
me?
not have the mental space or the offensive line to do it this time. The Chiefs didn't have a chance, and it had nothing to do with Brady. They were
There he
before the
is.
game started, no matter who
As
they were
Patriot
playing.
fans, even though we lose, even though Patriots lose,
Dude, I would
we
love to
win.
hear his point, but he cuts out so much.
It's you win, we lose, and we win at the same time. Brady owns the Chiefs, and I ain't gonna lie, that just made my year. Like, I'm sorry if you're a Chiefs fan, that breaks your heart, but it just made my year, man.
Later, Colin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy for you, man, that your year was made. It was a shitty year, so whatever it takes to get you through it. It made my year. The Chiefs made it back to the Super Bowl, so I feel you. I don't care that they lost. I don't care that it was Tom Brady they lost to. I don't care. It's fine. I'm happy for the Buccaneers. I'm not happy for Brady. It's quite an accomplishment to have as many rings as that man has, but I'm happy for everyone else on that team and their fan base because the Buccaneers have been a garbage can since, their last Super Bowl run, which was over 20 years ago or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, it was a good day for a lot of people, just not the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So,
Not gonna lie, but y'all haven't been good. But before Patrick Mahomes, y'all sucked about 5 decades.
well, yeah, that's true. I mean, it wasn't just when Patrick Mahomes got here. They've been on the rise back since about 2013. Coach change, quarterback change, all that stuff. It was coming that they'd make it back to the Super Bowl. They're not the best team, but in the league, but you still can't count them out. It's just like the Patriots. They had a bad year this year,
What was
but
it
you
like?
can't count them out.
Didn't they have like 16 losing seasons before having a winning season again?
Connection.
Yeah,
I can't hear anything.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Let me just.
You just keep cutting out. Like, you'll say, "Can you hear me?" and we can hear you, and then anything after that's just like so spotty.
Oh, so probably because y'all didn't say anything. So I stay quiet. But like I said before, I have no hatred to the Chiefs or what I do, but other than that, I hate y'all anymore since Brady beat y'all. So like,
I mean, Brady beats everyone, so that's why people don't like him. You either a Brady fan or a Brady hater, and there's no in between. So, I mean, I have no hatred towards the Patriots. I said all these years that I hated the Patriots, but it turns out I never actually hated the Patriots. I just never liked Brady. I respect Bill Belichick more
there's
every
only one
day.
team Brady hasn't beat.
And it's the Patriots, yeah, but he's probably gonna beat them this year. So
There's only
what do you think about that, Dad?
I feel
only
about
one team
Brady about the
hasn't
exact
beat.
same.
It's us.
About the
Patriots.
Oh, sorry, bro.
The only reason he hasn't beaten us is because we haven't played him yet.
Yeah, and he's going to play them this year. So, yeah,
Now-
Brady will have beaten every single team after this season.
You know what? I don't think that Brady's going to beat New England.
Well, I do think there's a good chance that, New England does win, especially if it's in Foxborough. I know Brady's comfortable with playing in Foxborough, but that doesn't mean anything. Bill Belichick knows how Brady plays.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
But, I think the especially towards the end of last season, Brady was not the one winning them games. It was their defense. I'll stand by that, and a lot of people are mad about that. But a lot of the things they won were because their defense just kicked ass and didn't let the other team score.
And just like the year before, he wasn't giving the game back away like Jameis Winston was with those 30 interceptions.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, this Patriots-Buccaneers game can go either way, in my opinion. I think it would be hilarious if New England beats.
Brady knows Bill.
Yeah, Bill knows Brady.
Yes, I think it could go either way.
Yeah, agreed.
Bill knows what Brady's probably gonna do, and Brady knows what Bill. It could go. It could go either way. I don't know who's gonna win that game, but it's
for sure. I
games,
think it'll be all right.
The team.
I hope it's a primetime game.
Yeah, it's not a choose favorite team or anything like that kind of game.
Yeah, I hope it's a primetime game. I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to watch that. Patriots fans, Brady fans, and any other kind of fans, everyone else.
Look at our schedule. I think it is a primetime.
I think it is too.
I mean, I know I'll be watching because that's a great story.
I'm a Patriot fan. Yeah, I'm a Brady fan too, but I'm mostly a Patriot.
I've seen a lot of people over the last year or so that claim to be a Patriots fan, just kind of hop off the Patriots bandwagon and just follow Brady and show that they're truly just a Brady fan.
Yeah, there are a lot of loyal just Patriot fans, though.
There are.
This next year, I guess, but I'm kind of pretty, I don't know, because I don't know how Cam's going to do. He had COVID. He didn't have no weapons, so I'll see. We'll see how he does.
I can't wait for the season to start.
I hope they, bounce back. But
it'd be nice to see him kind of bounce back a little bit, just to kind of prove people wrong about how the Patriots are only good because of Tom Brady. As someone who's not a Tom Brady fan, I feel like that's the best way to put how I want this season to go for the Patriots.
1 second. Yeah, the Patriots and Tampa Bay game is in Gillette Stadium this year. The date and the time of that game is to be determined. So, as we're approaching the hour and 55-minute mark, this was only intended on being a 45-minute stream tonight. We're going to cut it out of here in just a second. Hey, Thursday night, anybody that has a suggestion for topics for Thursday night, we can go back to free agency draft. We can go college basketball, MLB. I think we can even do some NBA because we're starting to heat up towards the playoff races. I'm
gonna drop our Twitter and our email in the live chat. I have it in the description of the video, but for everyone that's here, I will drop it in here. So if you guys have any ideas or want to reach out, you can just message us on there, or leave a comment on the video, and hit us up, because we're not struggling for ideas, because there's everything we can be talking about. But if there's anything anyone wants to hear us talk about, because we can have opinions on about anything, so yeah, just hit us up. I think it should be fun, just because we're going to be branching out, kind of like we were doing a couple weeks ago, and talk about a little bit of everything. I think it'll be fun. So,
and back to the one thing, Mr. King, Patriot King, thanks for coming up here and hanging out with us. Sorry about your connection. I wish it was a little bit better, but if you get it worked out, feel free to come in anytime. We'll definitely we'll talk Brady, and we'll talk New England a little bit more.
We'll be here every Thursday night, late nights. This Monday one was just on the spot with the Edelman retirement and a couple other big signings today. So if you ever want to come hang out, we'll talk Patriots with you all day. For a group of us that are not Patriots fans, we spend a lot of our time talking about them. So your opinion's always welcome in those conversations.
All publicity is good publicity. Anyone else has anything left to do today, but go ahead and check us out. We'll see you the next time. Hit us up, hit that subscribe. Make sure you click the bell to get these notifications, and leave comments down below, because we appreciate them, and it definitely helps us out. Until the next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye, Shelby. I kicked her out. All right.
Peace out.